Rosa, just 13 years old, is seen here and appears to be standing over mother Irina Garcia, who's in bed. Police say he stabbed her to death while she was sleeping with her 14-day-old baby asleep in the crib next to her. Less than 40 minutes earlier, take a look. This image shows Garcia in bed holding that newborn baby. And in this photo, we presume was taken after the alleged attack, showing Rosa posing with blood-covered hands.
This is the disturbing murder of Irina Garcia, a mother killed by her own son, Derek Rosa. But what drove a seemingly innocent boy to commit such a horrific crime? What turned a bright honor student into a killer? And why did a son murder his mother with nothing but the cold detachment of a child playing with a toy? Stay with us. This story is about to unravel in ways you never saw coming. But before we begin, if you find this video interesting, please give it a like at the end and tell me what you think about the case. It really helps the channel. And don't forget to subscribe for more. Thank you. This video is created solely for educational and documentary purposes. It does not endorse, glorify, or condone any of the criminal actions or individuals described in this case. Viewer discretion is advised. Derek Rosa, at just 13 years old, was known to everyone as a bright and promising honor student. His spotless record spoke volumes. Never a hint of trouble, always polite, always considerate. His family, his friends, and even his teachers all spoke of him with pride, describing him as a loving child, a boy with a sharp intellect, someone who excelled in school and never caused a scene. But behind that perfect exterior, something darker was unfolding, something no one saw coming, least of all his own family. His mother, Irina Garcia, was a dedicated woman. Just 39 years old, she had devoted her life to raising her two children, Derek and her newborn daughter. She was a mother who would go above and beyond for her family, often putting her own needs aside to ensure her children were cared for and loved. Her life was full of warmth, routine, and the kind of quiet sacrifice that only a mother truly understands. Yet, on the evening of October 12, 2023, that life would be tragically cut short, leaving a void that no one, least of all her children, could comprehend. Then there was Frank Ramos, Derek's stepfather, a truck driver who spent much of his time away from home, on the road. He was out of town when the crime occurred, making his absence a painful twist in the tragedy. Frank had been part of Derek's life for years. Though they weren't blood, Frank had stepped into a fatherly role in Derek's life, providing support, guidance, and care. It's unclear what Frank's exact relationship with Derek was like in the moments leading up to the murder. And despite the divorce, Derek's biological father remained a part of his life. Though separated from Irina, he still kept in touch with Derek, maintaining a connection, albeit a distant one. It was just another evening, seemingly like any other, in the small apartment where Derek and his mother, Irina, lived. That night, Frank was at work driving a truck, but Irina was at home, sitting in the living room, breastfeeding her newborn daughter, while Derek moved in and out of the apartment, a typical teenager with an air of impatience, like many others his age. The exchange they had was simple, almost mundane. As Irina looked up, she caught Derek heading toward the door, and with a soft but firm voice, she reminded him, "Don't run out the door, Derek." She said it with that maternal tone, the kind that's second nature to a mother trying to keep her children safe. Derek, likely frustrated by yet another small restriction, muttered something back, but that was the end of the conversation. But beneath the surface of these small, everyday moments, something far more disturbing was unfolding.
13-year-old Derek Rosa on doorbell camera. His mother holding her newborn baby, cautioning her teen son not to run.
Okay.
He asks her in Spanish why she always tells him not to run. Seconds later, he re-enters the apartment. Irina Garcia still in the same chair with her baby.
In the hours leading up to that fateful night, Derek's Google search history told a story that no one saw coming. At first glance, these searches seemed like the random musings of a curious teenager, but when viewed in context, they were more than that. They were the signals of a young mind consumed with the thought of violence and the disturbing intention to follow through. Derek had typed in artery image diagram. He was not just curious about the anatomy of the body, he was looking for the places where he could inflict the most damage. Then came, where is the best place to stab someone? Next, is a small knife good for killing? And then came, can a knife cut through bone? The chilling realization set in. This wasn't an act of sudden rage or a moment of impulsivity. It was the culmination of hours of thought, of planning. Derek wasn't a boy who snapped in the heat of an argument. He had thought about every detail. And then there was the murder weapon, the tool that would be used to carry out the horrific act. Derek selected a 12-inch stainless steel kitchen knife with a pink handle. It was 11 p.m. Irina and her newborn daughter were asleep, unaware that this night would be their last. Derek, having waited for what felt like the perfect moment, finally moved. Derek slipped from his room. He approached his mother's bedroom. Derek pushed the door open, slipping quietly into the room, and then stood over her for a moment, with the knife gripped tightly in his hand. His eyes darted over her face, and then, with a sudden, chilling clarity, he whispered the word maricona, a slur in Spanish. He leaned over her, and with a swift motion, plunged the knife into her neck and severed the blood vessels in her neck. Irina's eyes flew open, but the pain was immediate. But Derek didn't stop. He was relentless, pushing the knife into her again, and again, and again, 46 times. Despite the screams of his mother, the chaos of the moment, his newborn sister slept peacefully beside them. But Derek didn't care. He was focused on what he had come there to do. The world around him, the pain, the blood, it all felt like a blur. In a sudden shift of focus, Derek turned away from his mother's body. His thoughts shifted, and instead of the immediate aftermath of his crime, he turned to something else. His online friend, Sweden. He reached for his phone and dialed, his fingers shaking, but his voice still calm. "I did it," he said without emotion, as though it were just another conversation. He sent a selfie, his hand covered in blood, holding it up proudly. The image was chilling, his face nonchalant, his tongue sticking out, the bloodied hand a grotesque testament to what he had just done. But then, the next step was almost inevitable. Derek had considered ending his life, his thoughts drifting toward the gun in the living room, but somehow, he couldn't bring himself to do it. Instead, he called 911, and in a voice that remained surprisingly calm, he confessed. But that, too, was a revelation of its own. A moment that would haunt everyone who would later hear those words.
Excuse me.
¿Quieren que lo podemos ayudar?
Can we speak English?
I speak English. How can I help you?
Can you bring the police over here where I live?
What is your address?
I don't know my address.
Are you by yourself with your mom?
Yeah, no, my baby sister's here too. She's sleeping.
Did you kill your mom? Okay, where is the knife right now?
I put it, let me check. Wait. I put it on the floor inside of the... Wait, no. Where is it? I can't find the knife. My what?
Your stepfather.
No, he's a truck driver, and he's driving trucks far away.
And do you have guns in the house?
Only one, but he has another one with him.
Okay, so you have a... Where's the gun right now?
It's in the living room. I loaded it. I pulled back the slide, but I did not shoot.
Okay, the gun is locked or it's in the living room somewhere?
Yeah, no, I have it right here on the couch. Do I get rid of the bullet? Not shoot it. Pull back the slide.
Do not touch anything. Okay, leave everything how it is.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I need to know that you don't have any guns or any knives with you.
There's a knife in my room and there's a gun in the living room.
Okay, I need you to stay away from them. Can you put them in a safe place away from where the officers can see them? Can you put them away?
So where do I... Shit, I'm sorry. I saw something fell and it scared me. I'm sorry, miss.
What happened?
Something fell from my mom's room and it scared me.
Something fell from what, sir?
It was, she has a lot of handbags and one of her handbags fell.
Okay, not a problem. I need you to put everything away, okay? I don't have anything in your hand.
Okay, but can I have my phone in my hand?
You can have your phone in your hand, yes, you can. I need you to stay with me on the line, okay? Do not hang up, okay?
Okay. Do I stay in the living room with the gun or no?
No. Do not touch anything. Do not touch anything. I don't want you to have anything in your hands, okay?
Okay, do I drop the mail?
You can put the mail to the side. Just have your phone with you, okay? Just stay with me on the line. Where is your sister? Your sister still there?
She's sleeping.
She's sleeping, okay.
Yeah. Excuse me, miss, what do I do if she wakes up?
If you wake up, just let me know. I need to know, do you think we can help your mom?
Miss, she's dead. And my stepdad's calling me. Do I answer?
No, stay with me on the line until the officers get there, okay? I'm sending you help.
Okay. Miss, do I sit in the living room or not?
Stay in the living room. Stay there where you are. Do not touch anything else.
I have more family members. They can take care of my sister.
I understand. I understand. Your sister will be in good hands, okay? Let's just worry about you now, okay?
Okay. Miss.
Yes.
I took pictures and I told my friends about it. Was that bad?
You told who about it?
My friends.
Your friends? Did you send pictures to your friends? So what you did?
Yeah.
No, do not leave. Do not leave. Stay there where you are in your apartment. I'm going to tell you when you can come out, okay? Do not have anything in your hand, okay?
I'm going to stay in my living room.
Stay in your living room. Only have your cell phone, okay? Stay with me on the line.
Okay, miss. Miss. I touched a lot of things in the house. Is that bad? Was that bad?
That's okay. That's not a problem, okay? That's not a problem. Just stay with me on the line, okay? Why did you do this to your mom? Can you tell me why?
My stepdad's calling my mom. I can hear the phone.
Okay, do not pick up the phone. Just stay with me on the line. Concentrate, okay? Stay with me. Do you need fire rescue? Are you hurt?
No, I'm not hurt. I just have a little bit of blood on my hands and my...
You have blood in your hands?
Yeah. Miss, how did the police get here so fast?
Because this is a life-threatening emergency. So we get to places fast. We're there to help you, okay? We're going to help you and your sister, okay?
Okay.
Who did you send those pictures to?
My friend. I don't know his real name because he is an online friend who I play with a lot.
When the police finally arrived at the apartment, it was already too late to stop the horror that had unfolded within its walls. But Derek, despite the chaos in his mind and the violence he had just committed, was eerily calm. The murder weapon, a 12-inch stainless steel kitchen knife, was found exactly where Derek had said it would be, on the floor of his mother's room, discarded after the horrific attack. But that wasn't all. The police also reviewed the Ring doorbell footage, which had captured Derek moving in and out of the apartment in the hours before the crime. Inside the apartment, the scene was as horrifying as anyone could have imagined. Irina Garcia lay in the room where she had been murdered, her body covered in 46 stab wounds. The brutality of the attack was evident in the sheer number of wounds. Then Derek was brought in for interrogation, and he was read his Miranda rights before they could proceed, and he also signed that he was willing to take the interrogation without a lawyer. At 13 years old, Derek sat across from detectives who were prepared to peel back the layers of a horrifying crime, trying to understand how a boy so seemingly innocent could commit such a heinous act. The interrogation commenced at 2:15 a.m. in the morning by the next day. The first major point was to determine the role of the online friend in the murder.
I decided to call my friends to tell them what happened, and then I said goodbye to my friends.
You called them before you decided to try to shoot yourself, or afterwards?
After.
Okay. How many friends did you call?
Only one.
What's his name?
I don't know his real name. He's an online friend.
He's an online friend?
Yeah.
When you say online friend, what do you mean, from video games?
Yes, from video games. I know him real well.
Okay. How long have you known him?
Since like I was 10. 3 years.
3 years?
3 years.
Have you ever met him?
No, I've seen the face.
You seen his face?
Yeah.
So how did you communicate with him?
My cell phone.
Through your cell phone, so you have his number?
Yes.
And you don't have him stored under a certain name, or you have him stored under a gamer tag?
I have him. I made up a name for him.
You made up a name for him?
Yeah.
What name did you make up for him?
Sweden.
Sweden?
Sweden. SWEEDEN.
Okay. How often do you talk to Sweden?
Every weekend.
Every weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. So you called Sweden. And what did you tell Sweden?
Told him what I did.
What exactly did you tell Sweden when you say what I did? Did you tell him how? Or no? How you killed her or no? Okay. Did you send them any pictures?
Yes.
How many pictures did you send them?
I said I'm two of my mama and one of me.
Okay. Did you... What did he tell you?
He said he couldn't believe it.
Okay. Does Sweden live down here in Florida?
He lives real far.
Real far?
Yeah. In America though.
In America?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you hung up the phone?
I said goodbye.
Okay. And then what did you do?
I was going to show myself, but I decided I didn't want to do that, and I called 911.
But it was established that this friend has no part in this crime, so the officers have to question further, perhaps to know why he actually committed the crime.
Did you ever make your way to your sister?
Killing her?
No.
Touching her?
Touching her?
No.
No?
I left her alone. She was sleeping and she didn't wake up, so I didn't touch her.
Okay. All right. Let's get back to your mom. You purposely went for the artery? Was there a lot of blood after? And then she woke up?
Yes.
Did you say anything else to her? Or did she say anything to you or no?
No, she just screaming.
She just screamed?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you stab your mom?
Can you go to the bathroom before I answer that?
Yes, of course.
So you were about to tell me the why. Why did you kill your mother? Do you know?
Do I have to say it now?
Yeah, get it off your chest. Absolutely.
I can wait for a lawyer.
Okay, at this point you want a lawyer?
Maybe not.
We can't. No, listen. Just so you understand, okay? You have mentioned or asked us, should you wait for a lawyer? We're not here to advise you on whether to talk to a lawyer or not, but if you are requesting a lawyer at this point, we can't interview you any further. You understand? We have to stop the interview.
Okay.
Do you want us to stop the interview?
After Derek's confession and his arrest, the legal proceedings began to unfold at an alarming pace. Derek, still a child, now found himself facing charges that would typically be reserved for adults, as prosecutors moved to charge him with first-degree murder. Despite his youth, the law didn't treat Derek with the same leniency that might be expected for someone his age. He was charged as an adult, which meant that, as the case moved forward, the full weight of the justice system would be brought to bear on him. As the case progressed, experts were brought in to assess Derek's mental health, and what they discovered only added complexity to the situation. Derek was diagnosed with ADHD, and there were signs that he might also be on the autism spectrum, though this was not definitively confirmed. These findings prompted a wave of debate about how his mental health could have influenced his actions. Could his impulsivity, his inability to fully understand the consequences of his actions, have played a role in the brutality of the crime? Despite his age, he was transferred to a juvenile center, but not like any other young inmate. Derek, at just 13, became the youngest inmate among 34 other teenagers, all aged between 16 and 17. The stark contrast between Derek and the older, more hardened individuals in the facility was intense. And given the high-profile nature of his case and the very real concerns about his safety, the decision was made to place him in solitary confinement. He was isolated from all the other juveniles, held alone in a cell with only a frosted glass window for company. His days consisted mostly of silence, his only interactions being with the guards who watched over him. His confinement was the kind reserved for those considered high risk, but it came with an unintended cost. Derek, still a child, found himself in an environment that did not offer the emotional or psychological support he so desperately needed. The fact that he was a middle schooler, still playing with Legos, only emphasized how out of place he was in the grim reality of the juvenile justice system. He was removed from everything familiar, from his education to any opportunity for social interaction, forced into near-total isolation. It wasn't just punishment, it was a form of trauma. His education was halted, and he was deprived of any meaningful rehabilitation. So Derek's defense attorney, the renowned Jose Baez, immediately began raising concerns. Baez argued that Derek, due to his age, was not just a victim of his actions, but also of a system that wasn't equipped to handle a child like him. He demanded proper rehabilitation and therapy, pushing for Derek to be transferred to a more supportive juvenile facility where he could receive counseling and education. But this wasn't about excusing Derek's crime. It was about ensuring that he could eventually reintegrate into society as a reformed individual, not as someone permanently broken by the harshness of the justice system. Derek's family became the most vocal supporters of his defense. They rallied for him, demanding that he not be treated like an adult, but as the child, he still was. A family member was quoted saying, "He is not an adult. He is a child who still plays." For them, the emotional pain of losing Irina was compounded by the sense that Derek, too, was a victim. But not everyone saw it that way. The prosecution stood firm in its stance, arguing that Derek's actions, while committed by a child, were the actions of someone who understood exactly what they were doing. They described Irina's murder as evil, highlighting the calculated nature of the crime, 46 stab wounds, and maintained that Derek needed to face the consequences of his actions. They insisted that Derek's current confinement, while harsh, was necessary for public safety. The prosecution made it clear that his isolation was a precaution, not just for his safety, but to ensure that he did not harm anyone else in the future. The judge overseeing the case was forced to navigate these conflicting perspectives. While the judge agreed that Derek's confinement was necessary for his safety, they also ordered bi-weekly updates on his treatment. Meanwhile, Derek's defense team managed to secure a small victory. They were granted limited access to the crime scene, 3 hours inside the apartment where the murder had occurred. This access was crucial for the defense to gather their own evidence, to assess the scene where the tragedy had unfolded. They brought in a forensic examiner and a photographer to document the conditions of the room, hoping to find something that might offer more insight into Derek's state of mind during the murder. Despite the defense's efforts, delays continued to plague the case. Derek's trial was initially scheduled to begin on February 26, 2024, but a critical delay hindered its progress. Evidence, including body camera footage, results from physical evidence like the broken knife fragment and the blood-stained clothing Derek had worn, had not yet been turned over to the defense. The prosecution claimed that the evidence had only recently been sent to the lab, but the judge was frustrated by the delay, criticizing the prosecution for not having provided the evidence sooner, especially given the complexity of the case.
And a 13-year-old boy accused of murdering his own mother back in court on Thursday.
For the first time ever, we heard his chilling confession to detectives. Janine Stanwood is in Miami with new details in this case.
I woke up, went to the kitchen, I grabbed one of the kitchen knives, and then I went to our room, and then I ate. It's okay, you can say I killed him.
The chilling interrogation video played in court. 13-year-old Derek Rosa allegedly confessing to brutally stabbing his mother, Irina Garcia, to death, and that he considered killing himself afterwards, but changed his mind. Family members in the gallery are sobbing.
Am I sleeping? Yes, she was sleeping.
Surveillance stills released by the state attorney's office show what appears to be the teen standing over her bed, gripping a knife.
Did you tell her anything before you stabbed her? Word in Spanish.
Were there wounds to her face?
Yes.
The homicide detective in this case detailing not only the victim's 46 stab wounds, but Rosa's reported actions leading up to the brutal crime.
Yes, on October 12 at 6 p.m., he did make searches on Google. He typed in the word, the carotid artery image diagram. What is the best place to stab someone? Is a small knife good for killing?
This hearing is to determine whether Rosa should be held in a juvenile-only facility as he awaits trial. A corrections corporal testified that because Rosa is a high-profile inmate, he's kept alone in his cell and supervised 24 hours a day. A psychologist says the teen has ADHD and that another doctor tested him on the autism spectrum and that Rosa was suicidal.
As of August 2025, there was still no new trial date, and the delays continued to mount. Derek's family remained in despair, grieving the loss of Irina, yes, but also struggling to understand what had become of Derek, the boy they once knew. Also, the mounting legal fees, the need for experts to analyze evidence, and the costs of legal representation weighed heavily on the family, but they weren't backing down. They had created a fundraising page, which drew support from over 5,900 donors, raising nearly $150,000 to cover the legal costs. Despite the chaos, one thing remained clear: Derek's family still loved him. They saw his actions as a tragic mistake, a misguided decision made by a child who needed help, not a life sentence. They continued to pray for his rehabilitation, hoping against hope that he might one day be given a second chance at life. But the questions that lingered were ones that couldn't be easily answered. Why did Derek do it? What could have led him to kill his mother so violently? In the end, the biggest question remained: should a child who had stabbed his mother to death be given a second chance? Some say yes, arguing that Derek's youth and potential for change should be considered. Others say no, believing that the horror of what he had done could never be excused, regardless of his age. The legal system, much like Derek's family, found itself torn between these two perspectives. Only time would tell if Derek would ever get the second chance his family believed he deserved. So, what do you think about this case? Should a child who commits such a brutal crime be given a second chance at life? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. And if this video gripped you, be sure to like it, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more true crime stories like this. See you in the next video, and stay safe.